Yeah, what's up, everybody? Once again, another edition of the Indulgent Program, live and direct. A couple of seconds late. I want to thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I tell you what, this show prep stuff is not easy. All right, here we go. Jonathan Gomez, what's up, brother? All right, okay, so tonight we're going to recap what's going on down in Vegas. NBA Summer League is probably halfway over at this point. I guess they're down to the Final Four in terms of who's going to play for the mythical Summer League championship. And I don't really care about that. I love basketball, but I'm always interested in seeing who's flashing among the players. That's what's interesting to me. Not necessarily, and obviously for the organizations, they don't care a whole lot about who wins. What they do care about, though, is who plays well. And, you know, it's interesting when you watch a lot of coaches and a lot of players, they try not to act like they're watching the games. You know, they try to look really casual, but they're watching. They're watching intently everything. What's up, Mark Grace? How you doing, brother? William Mays, what's up? How you? Because literally jobs are on the line, millions of dollars are on the line, and careers are on the line. And that's the one aspect of, I think, basketball that we can all feel somewhat connected to, because we have our own knowledge, we have our own opinions, and believe it or not, we might watch college basketball and maybe G League basketball more than some of the actual pros. You know, it seems strange, but that is the case. And I don't mind being wrong sometimes, because in terms of talent evaluation, I'm right a lot. I'm right actually most of the time, because I actually know what it looks like to see someone develop. Because I was that guy. I was not someone who was like a phenom or anything like that. But I got perpetually better, significantly better over a period of time. And I know, you know, like the key ingredients that you look for skill development. And that's all it is. It would be easy if everybody came into the league like LeBron, but there's only one LeBron. There's only one. Jordan played 3 years of college. 3 years. So I'm not surprised when young guys struggle sometimes, because it's really hard. Even at this level, I mean, you can see Summer League teams go 2-3 minutes without even scoring, because, you know, the skill level is not quite there. The defense is really, really good. You go from a 30-second shot clock to a 24-second shot clock. So becoming an NBA player is very, very difficult. And yet, people flash all the time. Stars emerge all the time. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And, you know, back in the day, this particular time of year used to be referred to as the dead zone. And when, you know, it's a time when sports talk show hosts, which is how we got most of our Sports Jones conversation fixed, serviced, those individuals would go on vacation, you know, and let somebody else do it, because there was really nothing to talk about for that 2-week window, that 3-week window from, you know, the NBA season being over. Baseball was there, but you're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about baseball for 2-3 hours. That's not the case anymore. I mean, with the NBA being a 12-month sport, essentially, and having baseball, women's professional basketball, the World Cup soccer is about to start for the women. There's so many different things that we can talk about. And it's made my job and your job, if you're a content creator or if you're somebody who likes to engage in conversation, it's made it a lot more tolerable now in this era of sports because there's so much access and there's so many ways that you can access information on your own. So I'm fired up. I did about 2 hours of show prep. All right. My name is Frank Red. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? This is the In the Dungeon program. And hit me up on Twitter at Big Frank Red. If you have not subscribed to the show, do that. It definitely helps the program. We're on our journey to eclipsing 100 subscribers. I think we're at 69 now. We've been stuck at 69. So if you haven't subscribed, please check us out. Two of the big stories also. William says, I've been watching Podzinski, and right now he's a rebound, hustle guy, all other parts of his game. It's like you said. Let me get you up so I can read your point. What did I say? I mean, listen, first of all, I'm a coach, all right? I'm a coach, and so I naturally just root for people. I don't want to see anybody fail. But when I watched his tape, his evaluation tape, because I do all the evaluations based on what I see. I'm looking for various things. I was like, all right, he got a nice touch. He has a high basketball IQ. Maybe in a couple of years, he'll be a decent player. I would not have drafted him. SG, what's up? How you doing? I would not have drafted Brandon at number 19. No way. On draft night, I think I was doing a show with Larry Kruger or my man Rye, Coach Dan Amelia. And this is what I said, and I don't know if this is the case or not. Does he have talent? Absolutely. We're talking about Brandon Podzinski. But your agent does matter. Your agent matters. It really does. I'll give you a perfect example. Nick Smith, who is one of the 5 players that I tweeted about that the Warriors might consider drafting, he ultimately went 27 to the Charlotte Hornets. If you watch his tape, that dude flashed. Nick Smith Jr., his issues are not basketball related, if he has any. He can really play. And he was a top 5 prospect coming out of high school. Had an up and down season at Arkansas, a lot of injuries, but he plays like he's pissed off. He's played like, you know what, somebody cost me about $5 or $6, $7 million in this draft, and I'm gonna go through everybody. He put 33 on the board yesterday against Portland. Real player. I mean, can you imagine him in a Golden State Warrior uniform next year? He's very Jordan Poole-like. Right, he doesn't have Jordan's range, I don't think. But his handle is better. His handle is definitely better. And he's competitive. So, I think Brandon is going to spend a significant time in the G League next year. And that's not a horrible thing. Remember, Jordan Poole spent a lot of time in the G League. William, I agree with you. William says that Brandon's shot is too much wind up on his shot. I totally agree. That's one of the things that I said during the draft shows. I was like, he shoots from his chest. And you can't do that. You know, you got to get that ball and get it up and then get your release. Like Grady Dick. Grady Dick from Kansas. You know, he's not, you know, the one real skill set that he has is he has a really quick release and he has a high trajectory on his shot. So he's going to be successful. SG says, what do I think about re-signing Draymond Green? I'm one of the biggest Draymond Green supporters out there. So, I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, when I evaluated Draymond Green 11 years ago, I said that he would play at least 10 years in the NBA. I can show you my write-up on him. Even at Michigan State, he was heavier. He had not committed to nutrition and the proper diet yet, but his toughness, his instincts, and his desire to win was all there. So, did I think he'd be a Hall of Famer? No way. Did I think he would be as impactful as he has been? No, I did not. But I knew he'd play, and I knew he'd be successful. So, happy for Draymond. I'm going to say this also about Lester Quinones. I saw a little more today from him that makes me think that he's closer to becoming an NBA player. Now, let me make this distinction. There's one thing to be on an NBA team, right? And there's something else to be a player. I don't think anybody is all that interested in just being on an NBA team, because when the coach looks down at you and he doesn't put you in, he's making a statement. He's saying that, you know what? Yeah, you're gonna have to be on the team, but I don't trust you. You want the coach to trust you. It doesn't matter where you're drafted. And I think Lester is, like, you can tell that he's working on his shot, because like Brandon, Lester Quinones had kind of a wind up with his shot, and he kind of straightens it out. But I saw him get off his feet today, line his shot up, and it was a lot more fluid. And I'm happy for him. Hey Frank, I have my own YouTube channel, and I would really love to have you on. Okay. Well, do you follow me on Twitter? If you don't follow me on Twitter, then that's the best way to contact me. I don't know if you do or not. So if you follow me on Twitter, then you can DM me, and we can talk about it, man. I love helping people, and that's not a big ask as far as I'm concerned. My man Romo. Evening, Frank. Just finished up a live at NorCal Sports. Oh, wow. Dad, Coach Amelia, that's my dude. He knows baseball, man. That guy really knows baseball, and big time fan. Okay, so SG, if you follow me on Twitter, just DM me and let me know what you're talking about, when you want to do it, and I'll be more than I'll be very, very accommodating. I'll just say that. All right, so we can, and also I want to talk about Gus Santos. Again, he's one of those guys who, he looks kind of like a G League player to me. I mean, could he be on an NBA bench? Yes, absolutely. Is he talented enough? Yes, he is. But doesn't make enough NBA plays. For example, the Warriors' offense is predicated on passing, not a lot of dribbling. All right? Generally, when Warrior players go to the basket, they don't take more than 3 dribbles. Gus Santos likes to kind of pound it and kind of get into his game. That's not the Warriors' style. So what he has to do is, and he does it sometimes, but he's just not a great perimeter shooter. When the ball finds him off of the wheel, he has to catch, and he has to put the ball up, and the ball has to go in. So when he starts making shots, again, at a clip somewhere 35 to 38% from the perimeter, because he's going to shoot 50% from twos because he drives to the basket pretty well. But he needs to become a better perimeter shooter. And I would say a better defensive player too. He's not a great defensive player. Am I a 49er fan? Absolutely, I'm a 49er fan. Yeah. I mean, let me say this. I'm a 49er supporter. Because they've had so many great players. Joe Montana is my favorite quarterback of all time. Ronnie Lott was one of my heroes coming up as a youngster. So, absolutely. 49ers, and I love Raider fans. I like the team. I love Raider fans. And, you know, Northern Cal Raider fans. And I covered the Raiders for multiple years. I did their post-game show for Sports 1140, KHTK. For a lot of years, I did the pre and the post-game show. So I know the organization. They treated me extremely well. Amy Cass, what a wonderful woman she is. Mike Taylor, when he was doing the media stuff. Yeah, I mean, I walked up to Charles Woodson and started building with him and interviewed him. He came on my show. So I have nothing but praise for the Oakland. See what my mind is. For the Oakland Raiders. And I still have some allegiances emotionally to the Raiders. You know, I still been black. It's pretty awesome. They have one of the best histories in all of football. William says, is your heart still with New York as far as sports concerned? The only team that I am attached to in New York are the New York Knicks. But I'm a realistic Knicks fan. I can look at the Knicks and say, you know what? Yeah, I love them. Walt Frazier still works for the Knicks. John Starks, some of my favorite players, but that team is not good enough to win a championship right now. It's just not. Now, I like them a little bit more because if you guys listen to me doing YouTube or talking on this show, you guys know how much a big fan I am of Dante DiVincenzo. But the fact that Dante is now wearing the blue and orange. I'm a real Knicks fan, baby. And we got Dante now. Are you kidding me right now? Loving it. Loving it. All right. Hey, friend, I was thinking about doing a 49er versus Broncos postgame show with Larry, Dan. Oh, wow. Okay. Again, man, I like to be a part of the conversation. I'm a real team player, so you know, you have my information. Just to put it out there. All right. I want to talk also about, first of all, Victor Wembanyama. All right, I got to get used to that. When you hear Victor talk, this is funny. When you hear Victor talk, I start thinking about the educational system in France. This dude talks like he's like doing like a play at a wonderful theater in France or somewhere. He's such an eloquent speaker. This dude is awesome. He really is. So, I mean, how could you not root for that kid? You know, so very introspective. I mean, can you think, what is he, 18, 19 years old? How can you do that at that particular age? I'm very impressed with him as a person. And, I mean, he's going to hit a home run in San Antonio, on and off the basketball court. So I'm definitely rooting for him. It was also good to see Brandon Miller have a good game 3, the number 2 overall pick for Charlotte. They're probably going to shut him down now. I don't think he's going to play anymore because they wanted him to have a highlight, and he definitely had one. Some of the other players that are doing well in summer league that people are not really talking about is Jalen Wilson. He went in the second round, I believe it was 42 to Brooklyn. The senior out of Kansas. He's showing that he can play. He knows how to play. He's tough. Anthony George out of Baylor with Utah. He's doing what I thought he was going to do. He's going to be a scorer. That's what he's going to be. You know, I don't think he'll ever be a starter, but he will be a scorer. You know, and good for him. I want to see more of Ben Shepherd. He's had a couple of good games, but I like him. I thought the Warriors might consider drafting him. And oh, by the way, Chris Murray, Keegan's brother, that dude is a sharpshooter. Frank, have you ever heard of Tony Parker? Tony Parker? What do you mean Tony Parker? Not the San Antonio Spurs Tony Parker. Not him, right? I'm wondering if Sacramento, once Portland took Chris Murray, they traded their pick at 24. I wonder if they were considering drafting Chris to team him with his brother Keegan. Based on what I see thus far, I mean, I think Chris Murray's one of the steals in the draft. This dude, and like, I'm looking at the Warriors, and I don't care what, he's totally different from Kuminga. Totally different. He can shoot. He's gonna be a good player. Yeah, man. I mean, William, I'm a basketball encyclopedia. So Tony Parker, ask me if I've ever heard Tony Parker's like, have you ever heard of Larry Bird? Yeah, and Victor Wembanyama actually played 1 year on Tony Parker's professional team in France. So yeah, they know each other very well, and they're both French, and it's a good thing. One of the stories that came out, and we thought it was over, but it wasn't, is Northwestern football fired Pat Fitzgerald, their acclaimed head coach, who was also one of the best players ever to play at Northwestern. And tough decision, but you could argue that it was the right decision. Allegedly, there was hazing going on in the Northwestern football program. And Coach Fitzgerald, he's been there since 2006. And he was a player there. I mean, he's all about Northwestern football. You know, but you can't have that. I mean, it should not have been allowed if it was, and allegedly it was for a long period of time. It should have never been there. And one of the things about college football now, and college sports in general, is your response of, I didn't know it was happening, is not going to fly. It's not. If you are the head coach, you are responsible for everything within your program. And, you know, that's why they pay you $5 million a year, $3 million a year, because you are not just a coach. You're actually more of a CEO. And when you couple that, some of the alleged hazing had to do with sexual improprieties, not surprised. To what extent, I don't know, but any inkling of evidence that would suggest that it did happen shines a bad light on the coach, and he's gone. I'm interested to see how you guys feel about that, because I actually, you know, at Fordham, you know, I still have a relationship with my college coach, Tom Penders. And our bond is even stronger now, because when I went to Fordham, we didn't deal with any of that crap. None of that stuff. No hazing. You know, I don't appreciate it anyway. I don't. Me going to battle, if you can say battle in a figurative sense, because it's not battle. I mean, you're not being shot at. But for me to combine efforts with a teammate, to go out to try to win a game and practice every day, being on the road, that's enough. The relationship that I had with my teammates, that should be enough. Whatever hazing is, you know, I don't know what the outcome is. Does it make you tough? people trying to see how. I mean, I don't get it. Really don't. So you lost his gig, and now it's about the lawyers because he had a 10-year contract for like $40 million, something like that. So, you know, I'm not saying he shouldn't get paid. I'm not going to say that, but I can understand why he's no longer the coach. If the alleged activities that they say happened, and many different players said that, you know, Hazen has been a part of the program. If that is the case, then I can see how you get fired. Now, would I have a problem hiring him again as a head coach at another school? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I think that everybody deserves a second chance. And I think he's going to learn from this ordeal. And I would hope that the individuals who have to suffer and endure those alleged acts are all right now in their lives. Because if they're not, you could assume that more lawsuits are going to come. So it is what it is. That's one of the stories. If you want to comment on that, you know what to do. Hit me up in the comment section. We can talk about what's happening in college football at Northwestern. We can really start to talk a little bit about football because there's some big stories out there. I am more interested in looking at the Pac-12 this year than I've ever been in my life. We got Coach Prime in Colorado. I hope he's able to perform his duties. You know, he's had surgery on his foot. Might have lost a couple of toes more. I don't know to what extent, but I'm hoping that he's a home run there. The Pac-12 is solid. They have a lot of good players. Another story came out today. Not a new story, but one that has not been in the forefront over the past, 8-9 months, maybe a year. It's Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden, the beloved coach, Super Bowl winning coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the former two-time Oakland Raider head coach. When he was working for ESPN, he had some personal emails leaked. Now, some of the stuff that came out of the emails, it was horrible. He said some things that were not cool. He's admitted saying them, so I don't have to say alleged. Some of the stuff was racist. He used some descriptions to describe people that wasn't cool. And yet, we've all heard these things before. We have. There are people who swear by Jon Gruden of all ethnicities, all nationalities, and should have said what he said. But allegedly, Dan Snyder, the former owner of the Washington Commanders, and folks within the NFL were a part of leaking the emails to the public to really, really dig them in. Because Mark Davis had said, listen, yeah, this is horrible. He wasn't a part of the NFL when he said these alleged statements. I'm not firing this guy. And the NFL was like, yes, you are. So we fired him. I'm thinking that Jon Gruden's case will never go to trial, and he will get the largest settlement in history that the NFL has ever paid to anybody. So I'm interested in knowing, how do you feel about the Jon Gruden issue? Is it in your world? Do you have any thoughts on it? Because there's a lot of people who love Jon Gruden. And if I tell you some of the things that coaches have said to me in the moment, you'd be shocked. And my personality was, as long as you put me in the game, we good. All right? Because you're not going to stop me with words. The only way you're going to stop me is by not putting me in the game. And I didn't have a plan B. I did not. I had to make it. You know, if I was going to go to a university, it was going to be on scholarship. I recognize the tremendous academic opportunities that I had, along with my scholastic endeavors. And if a coach said something that, you know, was meant to hurt my feelings, or maybe was just honest, it wouldn't bother me. So I'm a different person when it comes to that stuff. But I recognize that our society is a lot different now. And I will say that none of the statements were attributed to me were ever of any type of sexual, there was no sexual connotations or anything like that. So it wasn't as big a deal to me. Now, as a coach myself, I don't do that with my players. Never would I talk to my players in a disrespectful way. Honesty to me resonates more than anything. You don't have to demean anybody. Hazing is not even something that I would even consider. I don't think it's smart at all. So if any college programs out there hazing in high school, get rid of that crap. You know, because it doesn't serve a purpose to me. Maybe you guys feel differently. If you have a comment or some thoughts on how it does have value, I'd love to hear them. My man, Rich Couch, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you, man. And we're talking about Dame Lillard only for a couple of minutes because it's comical to me. Has anybody seen the question that I was asking when I was just talking about how Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern has been fired for alleged hazing, you know, within that program, and his response was, "I didn't know anything about it. That's not going to fly in 2023, particularly when you're making as much money as he's making." And I'm just, it upsets me a little bit because, you know, I was a former D1 athlete, and I never dealt with anything like that. Even as an 18, 19-year-old, to me, it's totally inappropriate. And some of the players at Northwestern who alleged that this hazing did happen, that it had some connection to some sexual, I don't know what it was, but some of the things were sexual in nature, which makes it even worse, particularly in our society now. So it wasn't more of a question, it was more like, this is a topic. I guess the only question I would have is, do you think hazing, some form of hazing, is appropriate or not? I don't. Fraternities apparently do think that it is a part of what they do. There's hazing in fraternities. And I remember when I was at Fordham, there was a fraternity there that I was interested in joining. I'm not going to mention the name. But when I looked at some of the guys that were there, and, you know, they were going to put me through some stuff that I thought was crazy. I was already on the basketball team. People knew who I was, but beyond that, that's not what was important. To be a part of a brotherhood, that was interesting to me. But I had seen some of the individuals who were part of this organization, and I didn't think they were really stand-up guys. I didn't. I was like, come on, man. I'm not going to subject myself to that crap. So I never did it. And, you know, joining a fraternity was something that I had some interest in doing. But I didn't do it because I just thought that the whole process, the whole behavior was kind of whack. And I think that was cool. All right, William. William says, I am a Marine Corps veteran. When I was at boot camp, I was hazed, but nothing was ever sexual. Okay. I dig that. And I appreciate you for sharing that. Mark says that people getting hurt while being hazed, that's going over the line. If you're doing it in good fun or for team camaraderie, I'm all for it. Yeah, and I think Mark, I think what happened was when the word sexual in nature was attached to the hazing, then all bets were off. For Pat Fitzgerald because of our society now. I mean, people who are gay, transgender, and other folks who don't fit the norm in terms of how they project sexually, they've been ostracized. And as a nation and as a world, we're just not going to tolerate it anymore, although they do. So I mean, hazing is just kind of a bad word. I don't like the word hazing. I mean, if you say rituals or if you say activities to get to X, that sounds a lot better than hazing, all right? But when you attach any type of sexual connotation or any type of activities related to that, all bets are off. And that's not gonna fly. I mean, all the other stuff, I get it. I do get it. And I think Pat Fitzgerald, if he didn't know about it, knows now that it's inappropriate. I think he's good for college football, just based on what I see on television. Holds his players accountable. He's loyal to that university. So if he needs to be counseled in some ways to come up to speed and be introspective about some of his coaching philosophies, then he needs to do that. And then if he aspires to coach again, then start that process over again. Man, Williams says, going out of your way to humiliate someone is unacceptable. I don't care if you are part of a team. Yeah, man. I totally agree with you. I mean, my teammates, some of my Fordham teammates are some of my closest friends in the world. I did the unthinkable. I had the same roommate for 4 years. 4 years. And we're like brothers, man. And literally, we were the odd couple. We were the odd couple. I wasn't the neat one, all right? I wasn't the neat one. But my roommate was. And the love that we have for each other and the respect kept us together for 4 years. But yeah, so I'm not saying that rituals don't have value. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it doesn't build camaraderie and closeness and things of that nature. But I mean, when it goes over the line, and I think people know what the line is, then it's not cool at that point. Let me get back to Damian Lillard for a second. I can't see Damian Lillard going anywhere but Miami. And I'm going to say this. If you are an NBA organization and you know that you have to pay somebody $200 million, and I think he has for Damian that has maybe 160 million left. If you're paying somebody that kind of money, do you really want him in your organization if he's not happy? That's the yin and yang of these big contracts. I have no problem with athletes making crazy money. But if I am an organization that would consider trading for Damian Lillard, and he's already stated he doesn't want to be there, I don't want him in my organization. Because if that was not the case, yeah, that would be a couple of organizations that would say, yeah, okay, particularly the Boston Celtics. Because I don't know if the Boston Celtics really want to pay Jaylen Brown a supermax contract that's going to be, damn it, $300 million? You want to pay Jaylen Brown $300 million? He's a good player. And if he can get it, man, I'm happy for him. But do you want to pay him $300 million? I think Boston would be a real location for Damian Lillard if he was open for it. Brooklyn, I like him in Brooklyn just because I think he would like that city up. He liked New York up. But if you put Damian Lillard on the Brooklyn Nets, are they any closer to winning a championship? I don't think so. So I think it's Miami or bust. And Pat Riley is such a G. Have we seen Tommy Hawkins Jr. in Las Vegas? You know, do we need to put out an APB to find this guy? Now, I haven't seen Miami play. Maybe you guys have. Has he played? Because I'm going on the premise that Pat Riley just shut him down because I haven't seen anything. Maybe you guys have. But I mean, the general manager of Portland, when he picks the phone up, he says, "Mr. Riley, Pat, I was thinking about Jaime Click." He didn't even say Hawkins. He said, "I was wondering if Jaime Click." Pat Riley is not giving Jaime Hawkins Jr. up. That's not happening. You can forget about that. And he don't want to give Jokic up either. Rick says, I can see Dame going to Goodweather City. Bay boy, gotta be tired of that Portland weather. Yeah, definitely. But Dame wants to win. And I don't see a scenario that he could go to the Warriors and win. Now, Lakers, yeah, I could definitely see that. The Lakers have the pieces that Portland would be interested in. I guess anything but AD and LeBron would be open, right? So, I don't know. I can definitely see him going to LA. There's no question about that. Miami, LA, that's about it. But LA, I mean, they might be able to do it. Yeah, they might be able to do it. Those are two great markets. Miami ownership owns French's Cruise Lines. Damon would have free cruises for life. Yeah, I can't think of that owner's name right now, but he's one of the richest owners in the NFL. I mean, I'm in the NBA. Is it Nicky Harrison? I don't remember his name. I just rung a bell. But yeah, I think it's going to happen. And from Miami's perspective, I think what they can do, I think Tyler Hero would be good in San Antonio. Probably doesn't want to go to San Antonio. I'm sure he loves Miami, but he wanted a $120, $130 million contract, right? When that happens, you got to go where they send you. And if you're looking at Victor Wembanyama, and like I'm watching their team this summer, and they go 2-3 minutes without making a shot. So, you know, I like some of the younger guys, but Tyler Hero definitely could help San Antonio. And I think it would be a pretty good home for him. It would be frustrating for everybody involved because he's not a defender. And, you know, I can see Popovich lighting into him quite a bit. But he's a talented guy, and he's a shot maker. And I think that going through that tenure in San Antonio could actually help him become a better player. Duncan Robinson could go to Portland along with a first-round draft pick. Now, I think that's about it. That's about it. Got to finish packing for this camping trip. Yo, brother, the fact that you stepped in the dungeon for a couple of minutes, about 30, I guess. Thank you. I appreciate you. Be safe on your camping trip, all right? And, you know, we'll see you when you see it. I'll see you when I see you. Check out the next show, all right? Appreciate you, brother. I'm Frank Red, everybody. If you are listening for the first time, hit the subscribe button if you are not currently subscribed to the In the Dungeon show. And hit me up on Twitter at Big Frank Red, all right? And we are on our journey towards acquiring 100 subscribers in the Dungeon program. And when we get there, then we'll change the show a little bit. I'll start having some guests on. But until that happens, we're just going to talk it out. And I'll raise topics and have you comment, and it's all good. I think it's important that we kind of build up the audience, and then we'll go from there. Now, another story that came out today was, in spite of all of the pleas, no, Hard Knocks, HBO's Hard Knocks is going to be focusing on the New York Jets this year. No surprise with the legend Aaron Rodgers stepping into Gotham to lead possibly the New York Jets to a Super Bowl championship. They haven't done it since, what was that, 67 for Willie Joe? That's 67 or 60 or 69. I mean, can you imagine? Listen, dude. Jimmy Rod, what's up? Thank you, brother. Can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl in New York? Now, he would be the eventual host of Jeopardy. He would be the one guy who had like 3 television shows. You know, he and the guy from American Idol, Ryan Seacrest. He would have more TV shows than Ryan Seacrest. You know, 69. Okay, there you. Thanks, William. I appreciate you. So I'm excited about Aaron Rodgers being in New York because I still think he can play football. This is not about, a couple of highlight moments. I think he can play football. They're going to have a terrific defense. Their division is good, but there have been rumblings. Yes. He beat Johnny Unitas. I don't know. I don't know if we would have ever seen anything in New York if Aaron Rodgers leads the Jets to a Super Bowl. When you look at Michael Strahan, now, Michael Strahan has done things that nobody outside of himself thought that he could do. Michael Strahan is actually better on Good Morning America than he is on Fox NFL coverage. I think he's kind of minimized on Fox football coverage. And I don't think that's the best environment for him to shine. He is really exceptional on Good Morning America. And who knew? And I think part of the opportunity that came to him is a result of being a 2-time Super Bowl winner of the New York Football Giants. Yeah, they have to protect Aaron Rodgers, but I think they have a pretty good offensive line. I don't see why they can't protect him. So I think he's good. And I think that he's going to be motivated to play his best football. Because what does he have? 2 more years? I can't see him playing 3 years. I can see him playing 2 years. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Listen, I have never gotten the NFL package before. Never. I had the Red Zone on Comcast, which was kind of enough for me. But I'm actually going to get the package this year on YouTube, so I can get up and watch any game that I want to watch. And I'm going to be watching a lot of New York football, Jets football. Mainly because of Aaron Rodgers. But I'm excited about this football season. There's no doubt about that. Those are some of the topics. You have the revelation of John Gruden's emails possibly, allegedly, being leaked by the Washington Commanders and partly by the NFL to make him look bad. Even if they paid John Gruden, I don't know, $50 million, $100 million, $25 million, he's a football coach. And I think him not having the ability to coach football is really, the most detrimental thing that you could probably do to him. Did you catch any of the SBs? Some of the highlights. I didn't watch the whole program. Tell me, what did I miss? You know, obviously, the ESPYs sports are the kind of the backdrop of why people are there. It's really about raising money for cancer, and that's something that I can relate to and I know a lot about. So the message is strong. Was a big Jim Valvano fan for a long period of time, and to think that he started an organization with his words that has raised millions and millions of dollars, maybe even approaching $1 billion at this point. I really don't know. But to think that his honesty and his selflessness was the impetus for what has become just kind of a fixture in American sports culture. It's pretty incredible. It actually makes me. I think I don't watch the ESPYs because it makes me sad. You know, when I think of Tom Mead, ESPN, Stuart Scott, you see Stuart Scott's beautiful daughters, you know, living their lives now without their dad. I mean, Stuart Scott was the first Black sportscaster at ESPN. He was the first. And he started with Susie Colbert on ESPN2. And I think that he is no longer here because of cancer. And Jimmy V's no longer here. So many other people. It makes me sad. So it'd be tough for me to watch the whole thing, but I get it. And I really, it impacts how I live my life. I'll just say that. It impacts how I live my life. You know, to try to be selfless, to try to help people who are dealing with that horrible disease. I mean, man, I hope we find a cure for that. I really do. My man William says, in my opinion, on gluten, when you have a circle of friends, there are certain things you can get away with because your friends know, I assume. I understand, but once what you say gets outside of your circle, okay, I get it. Yeah, but think about this though. Now, he was working for a professional organization. He was working for ESPN. I get it. But to think that you could be held accountable for something that you said when you wasn't working for the NFL, I don't know. His words were horrible. They were racist. And he apologized. But here's the deal. What's on the other emails? I mean, how do owners talk to each other? What are some of the comments that they say about players and other folks? You know, we didn't get a chance to see that. Of all of the emails that traveled throughout that network of NFL personnel, John Gruden's emails are the only one that got leaked. I think a lot of people probably would not want their emails to get out in the public. All right. So from that standpoint, you know, I mean, Gruden, you know, made some statements. Yeah, Gruden made some statements about Goodell. And I think when you get that, you know what those comments were. The alleged comments that Gruden made about Goodell, I think, is really what struck a chord. Because he has the power. All right. My man Williams says owners probably talk worse. Of course they do. I think they do. I don't know this for a fact, but I think they do. Because of all the sports, the NFL is the closest to, quote, old school. They just started playing. The NFL really started paying players. And they only paid like 2 or 3 positions. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, quarterback, and wide receivers. That's it. That's it. There's a lot of really, tight ends, but tight ends don't break the bank. Kelsey makes about $16 million a year. Kittle makes about 15. Yeah, that's a lot of money. But 50% tax bracket, you got your agent, they're probably walking away with about $5-6 million a year in real money. Thoughts on Trey Lance going to the Atlanta Falcons? I'm assuming that's a rumor. Otherwise, it just happened. Is that a rumor? I almost want to see Trey Lance anywhere but San Francisco. Not that I got anything against San Francisco. Okay, it's a rumor. All right, good. Shanahan is a great play caller. Top flight organization. I'm a big John Lynch guy. The area is great. They got great fans, professionalism. They do things the right way. But Trey Lance sitting on the bench with his big salary, not really given a chance to show that he can play, that's not helping him. And Shanahan, in all of his greatness, he has a very clear prototype of what he wants from the quarterback position. And if that person doesn't fit into that very narrow archetype, it's all bad because he's not going to change. And we can talk about how great he is, right? But he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. Yeah, Jimmy G overthrew the wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now, and 49ers would have won. But this is year, 5, 6 for Shanahan? He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. He might never win. So I think if he was a little more, if he was willing to slightly deviate from what he wants to do based on the personnel of the person playing the quarterback position, I think the 49ers might be even better. But he doesn't do that. Brock Purdy is like his jewel. He loves Brock Purdy because he runs his offense exactly how he wants him to run it. And I think Brock Purdy's good. He's serviceable. But I don't think he's ever going to finish a full season. I don't believe it. Even him running, they're going to crush him. That's what I think, personally. Is he smart? Yeah. Does he know the offense? Absolutely. But I don't think he's going to finish the season. I don't. And Sam Darnold can play too. I think Sam Darnold just wants to flash for 1 year and then go and get him some money. Can't blame him. William says, prime example is the former owner of the Charlotte Panthers. He had to be replaced because of inappropriate words. Yeah, yep, I remember that. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. My man William says, Kruger says the same thing. He likes Trey Lance, but it's not fair to Donald, who is yeah. This competition, man, is tough. It's really tough, and it's also when someone has a fixed mindset. And I'm not saying Shanahan does, I don't know, but it's hard for me to believe that Trey Lance isn't one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going to say that. I think the fans in San Francisco have chosen a starting quarterback when they start chanting the quarterback's name. And last I heard, they were, they have great fans. And there's a connotation with fans sometimes that means that they don't really know the nuances of the game. They just support the team. And I'm not going to say that. Brian Iglesias, what's up, man? What's up, dude? Thanks for joining the program. I appreciate you, man. Northern California has some of the best high school football in the country. So I'm not going to say they don't know football because they clearly do know football. But there's a large contingent of football fans that have the financial resources to go to the games, to are really savvy on social media. They listen to sports talk radio. They look at all the blogs. They look at all the analytical websites, and they draw conclusions based on that. And sometimes those conclusions are not relative to what's happening on the field. And that's frustrating because sports are filled with nuance. And even if somebody fails, it's okay if they fail. We all fail. All right? I mean, it's like, it's almost like Trey Lance has to get an A+ on a college level calculus class just to get on the field. Why can't he make mistakes? You know? And his name escapes me right now. But look what's happened to the former Cal quarterback in Detroit. You know? Who went to Super Bowl with the Rams. Help me out, man. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. That dude looks like Jim Kelly. One of my favorite quarterbacks. He looks like Jim Kelly now. Why? Yes, Jared Goff. Did anybody see this iteration of Jared Goff coming? No, nobody did. Nobody did. But what happened? He got a chance to play. He got a chance to play under a coach who supported him and believed in him and gave him an opportunity to fail. Gave him everything he needed. And now Jared Goff looks like an all-pro quarterback. And if Detroit's not in the playoffs this year, I would be shocked. And I'm saying maybe San Francisco is not the place where Trey Lance is going to get that opportunity, but I want to see the guy ball. I want to see him utilize all of the God-given gifts that he has in real time. And the other thing that no one talks about in professional sports is learning modalities. Some people are very analytical, right? Some people are visual learners. They're kinesthetic learners. They learn by doing. And it's kind of inside baseball a little bit, but if you know anything about the learning process, how we learn, you have to have a mindset that is open to various ways of acquiring knowledge and gaining mastery. And that's a conversation that you rarely hear. And I go back to this. I can't think of Jeff's last name right now, but Steve McNair, RIP, the late great Steve McNair. Steve McNair sat on the bench for 3 years as a Tennessee Titan. About 3 years. He did not play. And this is a guy who had broke every record at Alcorn State. Now, it was HBCU football, wasn't major college level football, but this dude was a flat out stud. And when he got on the field, he was ready to go. And when they unleashed him on the NFL, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for a decade. And I think partly it was because of the nurturing that he had under his coach's leadership. The 3 trade destinations for Trey Lance: Colts, Texans, and Falcons. I disagree with that because Texas just drafted a quarterback out of Ohio State. He ain't going nowhere. They drafted number 2. And the Colts drafted a kid out of Florida. So, they got their quarterback. No, I think Atlanta is a reasonable locale because they're going with the kid out of Cincinnati who was a 3rd-round draft pick. He did okay last year. He flashed a little bit. But I think Trey Lance would be an upgrade, me personally. Just like Doug Williams when he played for Tampa Bay and Washington. Yeah, Doug Williams coming out of Grambling, I mean, he just got the snot beat out of him. I mean, he played for an expansion team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had no offensive line. They beat the crap out of him. And he wasn't going to have an opportunity to really prosper there. But again, by the time he got to Washington, he was ready to go. He led him to the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to – no one can sway me on Trey Lance. Nobody. I got to see him play. I know that he has the talent, and I want to see the talent, you know. So, my man Brian says, switching it up. Thoughts on the Warriors signing Saric? I like the move. I can see him playing the stretch big role like Otto Porter, Junior, Bianisha. Give him more. Hey, man. Dario Saric, that move was one of the best moves in NBA free agency. It quieted the noise of Warrior fans, and I just think people within basketball circles. Think about this. Think about this Warrior team minus Saric in the offseason. No one's real excited based on what all the other teams in the Western Conference has done. But when you add Saric to the mix, even with what we've seen thus far with Podziemski, their first round pick at 19, and hey man, there's nobody who can watch Brandon play and go, wow, he's really looked good. He's really flashed. No one's going to say that. But you would be unwise to bury the kid also. I'm not going to do that. I think he's going to spend a lot of time in the G League this year because his game needs to be broken down. A couple things he can do. He's a pretty instinctive passer with his left hand. And he can shoot when he's open. But his mechanics, his footwork is not very good. He needs to raise the level of his shot, and he needs to trust his right hand because people are already playing into his tendencies already. And he's just not, he's not very athletic either. I mean, one of the reasons why I love Dante DiVincenzo is because Dante is a super athlete for a two guard. You talk about somebody 6'4", 35-inch vertical. So, Brian, I could talk about all these players, but I love the Saric move. I love it because he gives the Warriors the versatility that they need within their offense. He's not just you know the guy. He's not like a banger, a defensive guy. He does all of those things, but he can shoot it. So I'm excited about the Warriors. The Warriors this year, I think, will be a 4th or 5th seed. Last year they were a 6th seed. I think they'll be a 4th or 5th seed this year. And if they're 5 and they don't have the home court advantage, is anybody really concerned about one game? No. Nobody's concerned about one game. So I think the Warriors are in great shape. As upset or drudgingly as Chris Paul might seem about playing off the bench, I think he'll probably even start maybe 15, 20 games this year. But I like the Warriors team. I think the Warriors are equipped to compete against anybody in the Western Conference. And all of this talk about how good the Denver Nuggets are, you lose your best defender, your best perimeter defender in Bruce Brown, who was just knocking down threes, you know, like he was Steve Kerr or somebody. And you lose your OG vet in Jeff Green. Jeff Green was instrumental, not only on the court, but as a veteran. Those are big losses. Those are really big losses. And they haven't replaced those guys with anybody. So, I mean, Denver's going to be good, but I don't think they're the best team. I don't know if there is a best team. I think there's, 4, 5, 6 teams that compete. And Dallas is a lot better. Houston, going through Houston now is not going to be an easy win. I mean, CP3 to run a second unit, I'm intrigued. You can be intrigued, but I would say you should be happy because they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. Turnovers are going to go way down. CP3 is a 90% free throw shooter, high 80s, and he is the preeminent leader. You think he's not going to get in those guys to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? He is. He is. I think that's gonna create opportunities for guys like Kuminga. I have no doubt about Moses Moody. Moses Moody is ready to go as far as I'm concerned. So I like that unit. I like the Warriors' second unit. I think Jackson Hayes is going to fight and kind of scrape his way to getting on the floor a little bit. The only thing that concerns me about Jackson Hayes, I talked about it before the draft, he's not even a 70% free throw shooter. That's a problem. Because big guys get fouled a lot. And yeah, there'll be some dunks he's going to miss, but he has to be at least a 75% free throw shooter. Otherwise, people are going to foul him, and he's not going to be on the floor. So that concerns me. But I think the Golden State Warriors are in really good shape. There's some other guys in Summer League I didn't talk about that are flashing. I've talked ad nauseum about Leonard Miller before the draft. I knew he was going to be a good player. There is some irony, though, about Leonard Miller because of how the Minnesota Timberwolves are constructed. He might have a tough time getting on the floor, even though he's a really good player. So, it says, I'm not going to get rid of Trey Lance jersey, which my mother got me for Christmas. He is going anywhere. Yo, man, boy, now they're sitting pretty. They got three great options at quarterback. So, good for them. Good for them. My man Brian says, I'm excited about the Warriors. People are saying they lack athleticism, replacing CP3 for Poole. Would do that. But what they lack in athleticism, they improve in IQ, especially in late game situations. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I don't know what fans are looking at. I have no idea. I have no idea. This Warrior team, they got another run in them. Who are they playing against? They lost to the Lakers in 6 games. Why? Because Clay couldn't make a shot. If Clay gave them anything, if Clay was decent regular season Clay, they beat the Lakers. Or do they beat Denver? I don't know. But it's won 6 games. So I think the Warriors were fine, but it's going to be tough. Good luck trying to get a win in Sacramento. Good luck. Sacramento is good. And Sacramento, they've had as good an offseason as anybody, as far as I'm concerned. The kid they got from Europe, his name is Sasha Vezenkov. I saw him play in the Summer League a little bit, and he's aggressive. He's not just a shooter. The guy bangs a little bit. Said, how would you rate CP3 as a three-point shooter in the NBA? Little better than average. I don't have the percentages right in front of me, but I would say CP3 shoots probably somewhere between 33 and 38%, which is pretty good when you consider he doesn't turn it over. He's not a high turnover guard, so he's very efficient offensively. Defensively, not quite as good. And the biggest adjustment he's going to have to make is he's going to have to pass the ball. He's used to having the ball in his hands a lot. And the Warriors' offense is not predicated on him running pick and roll 8 out of 10 possessions. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be an adjustment for him. He can still shoot. He can drive. But more importantly, he's going to set up Moody. He's going to throw lobs to Kuminga. Guys are going to get much better shots than they have gotten in the past. And I'm excited about that because when Draymond Green was not on the court, facilitating the offense of the first unit, the Warriors' shot quality went way down. And I think Chris Paul is going to help that this year. All right. We've already done an hour and 15 minutes. I know it's late. It's almost 12 o'clock. And I'm going to ask you guys, what is the ideal time for me to do a show? What's the ideal time for me to do it? Because We got a lot of stuff going on. So I gotta do the show prep because I wouldn't come on here not knowing what I'm talking about. So I do 2 hours of show prep before I do any show. So I'm still trying to work it out, but feel free to hit me up on Twitter to let me know what your thoughts are. I'm like Larry Krueger. I think Klay should not shoot as many threes and be more of a mid-range guy. 2 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, really? Okay, maybe I'll do a show at 2 in the afternoon, surprise people. All right, I can do that. It depends on how long you want to talk for. An hour, no more than an hour. My man Brian says, the aspect I'm most excited about CP3's game is his mid-range, elbow jumper. I feel the Warriors went away from that aspect last year. Yeah, exactly. The point I was going to make about Klay, it isn't where Klay shoots to me, it's the quality of shot. Klay's shot quality went way down last year. He made some tough shots, but his quality of shot went down. I'm misreading your comment. Okay. Who are your top 5 players that make the most money in jersey sales? I don't know. I mean, Steph Curry's on that list, right? All I can say. You should do a call-in show. Yeah, well, you know what? That'd be nice. I had 19 producers and I had a phone bank and all this other stuff. Yeah, you know what? I mean, sports talk is evolving, and I think at some point we'll have that ability to easily take phone calls. You can do kind of like online calls now. So, let the show evolve a little bit and stick with me, and we'll see where it goes. I'm kind of interesting. I have a weird take on jerseys. I don't wear jerseys, and because I grew up poor, and it was something to the effect like, once you get past like 10, 11, or 12, I don't have a problem with kids. I don't have a problem with anybody wearing jerseys, but my mother's my hero. My mother was the person who fed me, put clothes on my back, and I will wear her jersey. I'm fortunate because I've met most of my heroes, and when I've met them, they've been better than I ever could imagine them being. Magic Johnson, for example. Magic's a great guy. Bonnie Lott and people like that. But yeah, I mean, and I think mentally also, I played sports at a high level. So I played against a lot of the top players who people might want to wear their jerseys. I played against those players, competed against them. So it's not something that, like I look at them in a way that I have that level of reverence for them. I have respect for them, but not really a level of reverence for professional athletes. And then, as you get older, you realize that whatever we do for a living is only a component of what we do and who we are. I'm actually more impressed with you than I am any professional athlete for taking your personal time at 12 o'clock at night to get on the internet to listen to what I have to say about sports. And I know you got a lot of other things to do. So I'm actually more impressed with you than I would be any other professional athlete at this point. So take that for what it's worth. Red, you should do a 3-hour hangout stream. Would that be like a Twitch type situation there? Is that kind of what it is? William, thanks for having my back. SG, let's go. I appreciate you, brother. All right, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna get out of here, and I thank everybody for checking me out. Yeah, on StreamYard. 12 o'clock, that's late enough. Let you guys, and young ladies, if we have anybody out there checking us out, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to do my thing and get out of here. Success in getting paid, the manifestation of the whole process. If you don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. This is In the Dungeon program. If you have not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. I thank you so much. If you do not follow me on Twitter and you're interested in doing so, then go to Twitter and hit me up at Big Frank Red. Everybody have a wonderful night. Stay safe. And look out for the next In the Dungeon show. It'll probably be, it won't be tomorrow because I got something to do tomorrow night. But check it out. Next couple of days, I'll do another show. All right? Good night, everybody. Peace.